Hi, I'm Susan Phariss, and today I'm going to be talking about the bonding reflex. Some friends on Facebook were needing a little help, so here we go. I'm going to try to make this as brief as I can, but I've got to give you some preparatory information before we get started. So first, my background, I'm a neurodevelopment consultant. I specialize in primitive reflexes. Prior to that, I was an engineer, but my passion is helping people. My husband, this is my second husband, he had a brain injury as a child and was unable to read until we learned this method, and now he doesn't have dyslexia anymore. And for myself, we started doing the exercises for my husband, but it was able to help me because when my first husband died, I got extreme anxiety and it kind of crippled me for about 10 years. And it wasn't until we found this method that I was able to get better. So we're personally very affected and invested into this method because we both got better and our clients keep getting better. So we've been doing it for about 10 years. And the kind of kids that we typically work with are really bright, but they may be suffering from poor reading or ADD or anxiety. Maybe they're just doing really well in school but just cannot get math together. Or they've got attachment disorder. So we work on a lot of kids that have been adopted or for whatever reason have attachment disorder. I would be one of those kids in that my mom was under general anesthesia when I was born. And I was a forceps delivery, so I never bonded to my mom. And I mean, my whole life I marveled at other women who had close relationships with their moms because I didn't have anything like it. And it just seemed foreign to me. I didn't get it. I thought it looked great, but I didn't have it until I did the bonding reflex when we were in training. I had actually learned the bonding reflex from a rolfer, of all people, and then later learned it in a training, so that was very helpful. Anything else I want to make sure and tell you about? Okay, let's talk about the reflex itself. So this happens at birth, and what happens is as you give birth, your body is flooded with oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone, and the same is true for the infant. When they go through the birth canal, that triggers oxytocin to be produced. So mom and baby are now fully charged with oxytocin, and so the only thing that's left is eye contact. So when the infant makes eye contact with mom at birth, that's when the magic happens because its survival doesn't depend on breast milk. It's still connected through the cord, but its survival depends on you falling madly, deeply, crazily in love with it so that you would give your life up for it. So this is just survival of the species kind of information, that the bonding reflex is there so that you will claim that child and you will do anything to protect it and raise it. That's the purpose. And it's to allow the child to feel safe and secure and know that somebody's going to protect it and it will survive. So this is about survival. So for me, before doing the bonding reflex, I had a few issues. One of which was I wasn't attached to my mom. Another one was that I had a bridge phobia, that going over bridges was very difficult for me in the car, and it was getting to the point where I could hardly drive anywhere and my husband had to drive. So that was becoming to the point where it was really sabotaging my life. And the other thing was, my whole life, I never felt comfortable anywhere that I was. Whether it was at the gas station, the grocery store, work, play, it didn't make any difference. I did not feel like I belonged. Even in my own company, the nonprofit that I founded, I didn't feel like I belonged. So that is a lifelong challenge. It's not fun, and it's why I'm passionate about the bonding reflex. So after I did the bonding reflex, which I can very clearly tell you, there was my life before the bonding reflex, and there was my life after the bonding reflex. After the bonding reflex, I feel comfortable everywhere I go. Doesn't matter where it is, I feel comfortable. And the bridge phobia was over immediately. It has never popped its head back up. It's been about 10 years now. Haven't seen it since. So there are certain phobias that this is just going to take out. Today, I actually worked with a client who had separation anxiety, and we did the bonding reflex, and presto changeo, it seems to be over already because she would get upset when we would leave. So today she didn't get upset. Now we're going to see how she does at bedtime tonight. But anyway, Okay, anything else about it before I show it to you? A little bit of a disclaimer. This is not medical advice. I am just sharing with you how this reflex has benefited our clients. And I know that there's a million theories out there about this. I know that there's a lot of different techniques for doing it. I'm not saying mine's better than anybody else's. I'm saying this has really delivered results to my clients in the 10 years that I've been doing this. That's all I'm saying. There may be better explanations. There's, Dr. Google out there. There's so much information. This is my take on it. So let's get started. I'm going to start. I'm going to describe how we do it with a bunch of different ages because there's a lot of different ages of people that want to do this. So let me get on the other side of my massage table. Okay, this is going to be my little client. And so here's the shoulders, her head is up here, and their hips are down here. I'll put my hand here for the hips. And so what we're going to do first is they're sitting right in front of me. I'm standing, but I'm in a good position with them. And we're just going to start rocking gently from side to side. Just slow and easy. And then I'm going to have them press into this hand. Press their shoulder into this hand for me a little bit. And then release. And then I'm going to lean them over to that side again. And I'm going to have them press into this hip, this hand. Okay? And then I'm going to have them do them both at the same time. So they're going to press into this hand. They're going to press into this hand just for like 5 to 7 seconds. And release. And then we're going to go to the other side. They're going to first try the shoulder, then they're going to press with the hip, and then they're going to press with both of them. And then we're going to do the other side. Press both, about 7 seconds. Press both, about 7 seconds. We're going to go it again. So we're going to do it like 3-4 times each side, and this should be fun. Okay? We want to keep this light and gentle and easy and loving. This is a very loving, nurturing thing to be doing with your child. So the next thing we're going to do is have them cross their arms in front of them. Oh, let me back up. If you're doing this with an infant, just imagine that they're pressing into your hand. And so just visualize it and set the intention that they're doing it. Just pretend like they're doing it. And that's going to be good enough. When they're older and they can follow directions, then you want them to do this pressing. So whether it's somebody I've done that's in their 50s or a 10-year-old, it's pretty much the same, but they've got to be able to press, okay? And here's a really important point. If they do not like it, do not continue. They're not ready. They may need other developmental movements to get their nervous system ready to do the bonding reflex. I've run into this a fair amount where I need to work with them for a few months before they're ready to do the bonding reflex. They want it, but they're not ready. I had been doing the movements for months before I got to do it. So, and then I have had adults who could do it first try. It was very emotional. So you need to do this in a safe and loving place. No interruptions. Don't have people walking through the room. This needs to be a safe and loving experience. Okay. All right. So I've interrupted our flow here. So we were going back and forth and back and forth. Now they're going to cross their arms across their chest, and then you're going to grab them like so. Sometimes you may just be able to get them by the shoulders, and that's enough. You're going to figure out how to do this because it's going to vary by the size and age and abilities of each person. It's pretty individual, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so now you're going to, with kids I call this the jello and the spoon. They're the jello so that they understand they're supposed to be very loose, and I'm the spoon, so I'm going to move them around. So here we go. So we're going to rock over to the side, and then we're going to go forward and rock over to the side and backwards and then back. And I'm saying, I've got you. You're safe. I've got you. You're okay. I've got you. You're safe. And so while we're doing this, their head is loose and it is falling over to the side. If they're able to do it. If they're not ready, they're going to be tight. You're going to feel it all over them. They're going to be tight. So we're going to go over. And so we just keep doing this. And they're going to bring their head back. So be aware that you don't get a floppy head and hurt yourself. So make space for them. But this is very loving and nurturing. You're going to go both directions, maybe 2 or 3 times. Very gentle, very quiet, very loving. So there is the bonding reflex. I wish you the very best of luck with it. I hope this is all you need, and whatever it is that is the challenge, that it falls into place. And if it doesn't work out for you, then you need to find somebody, a neurodevelopment consultant to work with. I work with clients all over the world through Skype, so wherever you are, I can probably work with you if we've got decent hours. I'm located in Austin, Texas. If that's where you are, that's where I am, and I can do it in person, or you can fly me in. I'm very flexible. So, bonding reflex, you're going to do it once, then you may do it a couple more times, or once may be enough. If it really takes, it's enough, and it can be a real life changer for everybody. Okay, best of luck.